wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, I'm Wyatt Milam. I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Par-Mar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Par-Mar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar rewards card. Food, gas, groceries, and more. We are gold and blue proud, and we are Par-Mar stores.
If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Law offices of Mark Plants and Kevin Davis. First line of defense. Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. Number one single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. And welcome to the WolfMan's Call, where the truth is always part of the call. And I have a special guest today I think you're going to like, but welcome Mountaineer Nation. It is 6th of September. It's a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I have Steve Newberry. He's got a Mountaineer Hall of Fame, and he'll be coming on here in just a second. But I wanted to go ahead and say what's up, everybody, and let you know that tomorrow I want to give you a special shout out that we're going to have on Duquesne's color analyst guy for the radio. So he's going to come on. He's going to give a scouting report for us tomorrow, specifically for us. That's Tad Maury. And I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be tomorrow, 4 o'clock. And Tony Altamore is going to be on as well. And we're going to be doing some cool things. But today we have Hall of Famer Steve Newberry. He's going to come on, Noobs. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to break down some of that last half, second quarter to the last half of the film. But Kelly, what's going on? What's up, buddy? How are you? Good to see you already. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into it because I know you want to hear from Mountaineer brothers. And that's what I love about this show because we go ahead and we just get to hear from so many Mountaineer brothers, so many opinions, maybe different opinions, maybe same opinions, but people that actually have done the game and have great knowledge. And so let's welcome him right now. So, hey, Steve Newberry, how are you, sir?
Hey, Wolf, how you doing? I'm good. Thank you.
Oh, that's excellent, Noobs. I'll tell you what, man, you graduated in 1983, spring of 84. Hall of Fame Bowl was your last bowl. That was, what was that, Kentucky?
That was Kentucky.
Right? Yeah, it was Kentucky. And then Ronnie, that was my brother Ronnie's junior year. I remember that. Big game for you. You're in the Hall of Fame. You played in the 82 game that beat Oklahoma. You know, you looked at this and, just Mountaineers come off Penn State game, looking for a shot, kind of a 1982 kind of game where you're looking to shock the world. And you didn't shock the world, but, there's some things that you could probably look at it and say, hey, we built good. I thought the moment wasn't too big for them. I thought they were prepared mentally. I think that Neil Brown had them ready to go to fight. I think you saw that. I thought you saw them giving great effort, not the best effort in knowledge and experience, but man, they were playing hard. And, for a team, I had to say kudos to the Mountaineers for that and say much love to you because you went out there and you played hard. And we all know what it's like to play at Happy Valley and how the difficulties and the challenges and being in the moment, especially with 107,000 people, national TV. I mean, it's all there, Noobs, and they it wasn't too big for them.
No, I agree. I thought it was pretty good effort. I'm like you, Wolf. I was, my whole thing the whole week. I told people would ask me, said, "What do you think? What do you think about Saturday's game?" And I was going, 1982 Oklahoma, 1982 Oklahoma. Because nobody really gave us a chance Saturday, and I was just hoping that maybe we could. Really take advantage of some of their mistakes. Unfortunately, they didn't make that many. Penn State's a pretty good football team.
Yeah, they were. I mean, I thought they were built to be what they were. Although I wonder if they are as good as they will be in the 5-6 games down the road. I think that they sure have a lot of talent, but they better play better against the run if they're going to want to go ahead and be in the college football playoffs. Would you agree?
I agree. Well, I think you got to give our guys a little bit of credit there. The strength of our team I think is the offensive line. We've got some experienced players there, and we've got some good players, some veteran guys. And, then we got some backs, the McDonald kid, he just, every time I watch him, I think, how does he gain yards? He just keeps plugging forward, just gets hit and bounces off and just gains yards. And, I thought we ran the ball pretty effectively against them the first half.
Yeah, I think we did as well. And they both ended up averaging, I believe, 146, not averaging, but gaining 146 yards each. But that was 40 yards now. Below their average from last year, Penn State. This is supposed to be a better offensive line. The problem is, I think they shut down their running game to some degree at times. But then they said, "Okay, Drew Alar, you're going to have to beat us," and he did.
Yeah, he's good. He's pretty good. And what a way to break in your college career. I mean, he bigger than what I thought or at least he looked bigger, on television, and but he could move. He could move pretty well for a big guy.
Yeah, that was what people were saying until later when I started talking to Tom Bradley and Jay Paterno, and they're saying, listen, he's not as bad running as people are claiming. Right. He just doesn't need to run as much because he's 6'5", he's 245. Right. You can see down the field. And he's pretty shifty in the pocket. If you notice there, he really used that pocket to maneuver, avoid the defenders, but keep his eyes downfield.
Yeah, and to go along with that is, of course, what the secondary does and what defensive backs are taught to do is read the quarterback's eyes and break on long arm motion. And, his motion was pretty quick release, I thought. So, that makes it even a little bit more difficult for a defensive back to break on some of those throws. But, I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, I really thanks, Timothy, right here. Good afternoon, Wolfman. And say hello to Steve Newberry, man. Timothy Green, he's one of our local guys that comes on all the time. But, to get a Hall of Famer on is always cool, the Wolfman's call. And honestly, Noobs, when you watched the game, all right, we talked about the atmosphere. We talked about the excitement, national TV, and being there for the moment, which it wasn't too big for them. What else stood out to you? Now, give me some positives that I could take because, man, I'll tell you, when I break down film, you're always doing constructive criticism, and I need some more positives in my life thinking about that game. So go ahead on offense. Tell me how you start out, what you saw positively. Besides, C.J. Donaldson, obviously being a runner.
Right. Well, I think a couple of things that you mentioned in the intro there. I didn't think we quit. I really didn't think we quit. We may have got wore down a little bit there in the second half, and we got behind the chains and had to play behind the chains a couple of times. But I thought for the most part, like you, I thought the effort was pretty good. I think late in the game, our receivers started to get a little separation from their guys. And, I understand they've got a couple guys in the secondary or potential pro guys. And I thought a couple of our receivers were starting to get a little separation, and which is going to be good down the road. And that's a positive because we need to do that. And I thought Garrett Green, I thought he, for the most part, handled the situation pretty well. We didn't have, I can't remember any procedure penalties. Can you? I don't remember one, but
I think
we may have had one or so. But
we had one penalty, I think. I mean, so
it was pretty clean game. And anytime you're playing in an atmosphere like that, like you said, I mean, when in '82, when my last year up there, no, wait a minute, 80, 81, we played at home. 82 up there, yeah, right. 82 was my last trip up there, and I think the stadium held about 82 or 83,000 people, and now there's 107 or however many there were. But that's a pretty intimidating atmosphere, and for him to handle that and control the offense like he did, I thought was a good sign. We got to get a little better. We got to get a lot better, really. With the past game, I believe, but there's some potential.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now you're a former safety, and when you look at that, and you see a quarterback that's scrambling, what would bother you about a scrambling running quarterback as safety? A guy that's got to cover deep sometimes, but also has to come up and play in the box. And you see that, because my whole point is this, is I really want to see him with his height issue at 5'11" at best. I want to see him roll out more. I want to see him moving. I want to see those legs that he's so good at with his legs. And I want to show this film. And when he rolls out and he's got an opportunity to look downfield, he can make some things happen. And right. I think they got to put him in the right spot, Steve. And because as a safety, when you got a quarterback that can move around and he's not just dropping back in the pocket, it makes it more difficult. Does it not?
Oh, it does. Absolutely. Yeah, you can't cover those guys back there forever. And, we, anytime the quarterback broke containment or he broke the tackle-to-tackle blocks, we had to find that receiver in our zone, and we had to lock on and stay with him, the rest of the play. And the longer he's running around back there, the harder it is. I mean, it's they know where they're going, and we don't know where they're going. That's the problem. But a thing about his stature, and a lot of people say, hey, he's too small. He might be too small and can't see downfield. Well, I want to tell you something. I played against a guy that was small in stature, and he gave us fits, but a guy by the name of Doug Flutie. And, the problem with that was, I used to tell people this all the time, if we read pass on a play and those big old offensive linemen, you couldn't see him. You couldn't see him back there. And then, all of a sudden he just popped out of nowhere, and he was off and going, or the ball would, look like it was released, and it was released between two linemen's armpits or something like that. But it's really tough to see. And, so sometimes a guy with that stature, that height, it's kind of tough to read.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Steve. You think he's good enough to go ahead for West Virginia to have a winning season at quarterback? Do you think he's ready? He's there. Maybe some games that he needs to advance and get better a little bit, work on it. But is he there? Can he win 8 games with him at quarterback, the Big 12?
I think so. It depends. Of course, depend a lot on our offense. It's going to depend a lot on play calling. But like you said a minute ago. I think he's more beneficial to us when we can get into some type of offense where, it's a run pass option, and, he can use his legs as an asset. And if he can throw it adequately enough, he's going to give some people some problems.
Well, I agree with that. I also love the fact of trying to throw a little option game in there with him.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, again, because now you can go ahead and you can press option. We used to do that with Major Harris, press option, and then throw the ball. I mean, it's, literally, it makes the defense prepare because it's assignment football. Again, if you're going to use Garrett Green as your starting quarterback, this is my opinion, Steve, but give him the play to his strengths.
Right.
Let's go, man. Well, how about getting underneath center? As you said, you can't see him back there, and then he goes ahead and he does a bootleg, right? You got a pass option, man. How tough is that on a defensive safety when you're thinking? Now think about it, right? Because he's approaching that line, and he could go ahead and run the ball. And you got to make a decision as the defensive player. Do I come up and stop the run, or am I going to stay back because he might just dump it over my head?
Right. That's tough. That's tough. And if he can break contain, if he can get out in space, and the defensive outside linebackers or the defensive ends lose contain, then the pressure on the secondary, it's really hard to handle. And you're right. When do I leave that guy? When do I revert back into run support? And you got to get him in space. You have to get this guy in space, I believe.
I think so. And I think that was the problem when you think about it. And people are saying, well, the offensive line could have done better in the pass protection. And I think it's like, well, yeah, I think you're right. But when you're in third and long, man, if you could get him out moving, you could see what he can do. At times, he actually scrambled out of the pocket, and he came close, or he didn't get it, or he did get it. So I mean, it was actually every run was entertaining. It looked like pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
he came close. Sometimes he didn't get it. A couple calls, and that was kind of screwy. But at the same time, if you would design something to go ahead, and this is the last time I'm going to just keep harping on this, but if you design something to go ahead and use that strength, use those legs, put them on, to put a defense in conflict, to get crossing patterns, you know what I mean? Instead of this drop back, I'd like to see it. And how about that 6'7" tight end from Cole Taylor from LSU? I mean, it looks like he is a great target for Garrett Green. What do you say to that?
I agree. I think first catch he had was I thought it was kind of tough catch myself. The angle the ball was thrown and the pattern he was in, I thought it was kind of a tough catch, and it was nice to see. It looked like he had good hands. Looks like he blocks well.
Yep. And you know what? If people are saying, well, if you're going to do that, you got to go ahead and put him in jeopardy. Hey, you don't have to be in jeopardy to get hit all the time. I'm looking at you, Steven, and saying he's not that quarterback. You run him a lot. I'm telling you, go ahead. You tell him to throw the ball at the last second, or you tell him to run, whatever it takes, but you go ahead and you avoid the hits. That's the idea that you want to try to do. When you take the hits is when you start doing the quarterback draws. That's because you're running straight north and south now, and that's when those linebackers and defenders and safeties are getting a chance to tee up on it. Am I correct in that or no?
I agree. No, I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
We looked at him last year against Oklahoma State, and I think he ran 7 quarterback draws straight back, and he did get hurt in that game. And I think, again, is when you put someone on the perimeter out there, you're getting edge hits and not full-on hits by the bigger former players. Because, he does not have the size to go ahead and just get hit and hit. But I will tell you this, Tavon Austin never took a straight shot.
Right.
He was the smallest dude I've ever seen play, the thinnest guy. But you know what? He is always sidestepping, always just not even taking that square shot on him. And I thought that was part of his game that allowed him to go to the next level NFL. Okay, good enough. So we got that. We talked about that. Let me the last thing before we go to the defense. What did you see from the receivers? Devin Carter, had 6 receptions, 90 yards. You mentioned earlier he started to come on. What else would you like to see some of the other receivers and Ronnie Gallagher, the great freshman that's supposed to be great from Uniontown? Pennsylvania, but he's just a youngin. You know what that's like to put on them. But again, the receivers, what do they need to do to help Garrett Green out?
Of course, anytime they can get a clean release off the line of scrimmage, it's going to help. It's going to give him a little bit better lane to throw, or any quarterback we have a little bit better lane to throw. I think that, and you're right. I think Carter, great size, good looking receiver. But we just need to get him involved more. Maybe get him downfield a little bit more. I like getting him downfield. I'm not myself personally. I'm not a huge fan of these tunnel screens and all that. It just seems like there's a whole lot of stuff in there, and a whole lot of stuff that can get mixed up. But if those guys are good enough blockers out there on the edge, and you can get somebody behind them in those little screens and slip screens or what have you, then if they'll be successful. But I like to see them get down the seams, down the in open space a little bit more.
Noobs, I would really like to see WVU open up a little bit more in the run-pass option.
Right.
Okay, being able to really pinpoint and take advantage of free yards when there's free yards. Sometimes there's not free yards. Sometimes, that run-pass option, a defense doesn't give you something that's open. But when it does, I thought you saw, flipping over to Penn State's offense, I thought you saw a lot more of that with Drew Allar, and he was taking advantage of the defensive secondary, mainly backers as well, but their strategies, their positionings. Yeah. And I think they really made big use out of it.
Right. I agree. We got to find a way to get, like you said, we got to find a way to open this up a little bit more. And that may have been, obviously, Penn State's defense is good. They got a lot of guys that's probably going to play on Sundays here in a few years. But and sometimes when you play against a team like that, you're really strapped and limited to what you can do. But we're just going to have to get better going forward. It's always to it.
There's no doubt they're going to have to get better. There's a lot of work. And again, as we can go ahead and we'll take this to Penn State. We'll finish up with the defense here. All right, so the defense gives up 498 yards. Two running backs that were really successful last year, Singleton and Allen right there. So, again, they're good running backs. They had two great tight ends, or two very good tight ends. And then the DeAndre Lambert-Smith had a big night as well at receiver. Looking at that, how do you think that the defense performed? Because they keep saying that the defensive line played well, and they gave up 322 yards passing, 146 rushing, which was 40 below. But at the same time, if you give up one and then you give up the other, or you don't give up one and you give the other, and you still get 500 yards and 38 points against you, is that really, truly being successful?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good question. You kind of pick your poison with that team. We maybe made a concentrated effort to stop the run, and that opened up things over top. But I did think our guys up front played respectably. I thought they gave good effort. I thought they got a little pressure from time to time. Looked like they may have got wore down a little bit as the game went on, but that's just a depth issue probably.
Yeah, what I was really encouraged by, I saw, didn't you? No, that was before you. Duck Riley, that was way before you. Sorry about that.
Oh, I know Duck.
Yeah, it was Duck and his son or grandson, Sean Martin.
Right.
I thought he was going against Olanifu, the left tackle that's supposed to be this, and he really is that good of a football player.
Yep.
But I thought Sean stood up pretty well against him, and I think he held his own, which bodes well for WVU, but especially because we all like Sean so much.
Right. I agree. I thought Sean played well. And fortunately, throughout his high school career, I was being from Bluefield, that's just 40 minutes up the road from me. Mm-hmm. I followed his high school career. Of course, I know Duck. I've known Duck for years and years and years. Sean, one I understand, is just a wonderful human being, and when he was in high school, I have to admit this. I saw him in high school. I said, he's kind of skinny and lanky. And I'm thinking, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. If this guy can get to where he needs to be, but I'm telling you, he is. I'm really impressed with him. He's come a long way from high school to where he's at now, and he's developed into a really, really good football player. And of course, I think what I've heard, from maybe some of Tony and those guys' conversations, he's been dinged up a little bit in preseason camp. So, hopefully he can get that situated and continue to get better as we go.
Oh, I agree with you. And before we get into Neil and Tony Caridi here, because we can see them coming up. But again, all right, so I have one last question I want to ask you about the game defensively. Does it drive you crazy when you see 3 defensive linemen rushing and not putting pressure on there, or do you want 4? It drives me absolutely insane. Everyone knows I can't stand 3 defensive unless you're winning. If you're winning with 3 defensive linemen, but let's go, man. 3 against Penn State's offense, it's not going to be a winning formula.
Well, yeah, and Wolf, you know me, I'm an old school guy, right? I'm an old guy. So yeah, I mean, it does me too. I'm from and of course I coached high school football for about 20 years, and I'm always under the impression that the belief that the best pass defense is a pass rush. I mean, it's easy. It's easy for me as a cornerback to sit back there and cover somebody. If one of you big guys are barreling down on a quarterback and he's trying to throw, looking out his ear hole, or he's looking up at the sky trying to throw the football. I mean, it's easy to cover guys. Anybody can cover them like that. And I like the mentality of get them before they get you.
That's right. And I think that the best pass defense is one that attacks the quarterback and is a fast pass rush, because that solves a lot of issues about trying to hang with wide receivers or quarterbacks, as you saw Drew Allard do, extend the plays. So we bought time and waited for receivers to get open. It just helps the secondary.
It does. Oh, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
Yes. So the more pressure we can get from different angles, I think it's going to help those guys back there. And I know some of them are new to the secondary and playing in that system, but there's a lot of them. What I understand is had quite a few snaps under the belt. So we need to give them all the help we can get.
Well, I think the other thing too, Noobs, and again, I said last one, so I guess I told a fib there, but last one for sure. I want to see a little more being aggressive, challenging those receivers, not giving up so many yards right off the bat. I think it's RPO again. I think that hurts you, but I'd like to see them saying, "Hey, I'm going to challenge you because I believe in myself." And the coaches, let them play, let them play, and I think if you kind of don't do it, you kind of put, you tie an arm behind their back a little bit. You don't want to get beat for 6, but at the same time, you don't want to say, hey, go ahead.
Right.
It's easy. Go ahead and take that. I'll give you that, but you're not going to go ahead all the way. I don't think that works the whole game.
Right. I agree. Not letting them off line of scrimmage and not giving them a free run and the ability, a little bit that extra second to get open. I mean, that's important. Oh, all right. Well, you know what? I expected those answers, so that's really good. But here, let's see how you're going to answer this, because now we're going to move up to the Dukes. That is this Saturday, and they're FCS. They just beat Edinburgh, the Fighting Scots. I don't care what you say about them. If they're Fighting Scots, they got to be a little bit of trouble here. But here's the first question with Tony to Neil. You are Neil Brown right now answering these questions after he answers them.
Mountaineers, Neil Brown, as West Virginia gets ready to open up the home schedule. The first of 3 in a row here in Morgantown. You've got the Duquesne Dukes. The old adage says a team improves its most from its first to its second game. We always say that, but from a coach's perspective, how much improvement do you normally see from 1 to 2?
Well, what you have is film, so I don't know if the improvement's because it's game 1 and game 2. It's just that you have film versus another opponent. So it exposes you for good or bad. And so I think we were proving that we were pretty good at certain spots that we could continue to grow and develop in. And then we showed some deficiencies. We've got to be better offensively in the pass game. Defensively, we've got to be better stopping the pass. And we were exposed for
All right, so pretty much we just covered that, what you said. But number one, you were a coach for 20 years. Is the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2?
So, some people firmly believe that. A lot of it has to do with the opponents you're playing. Now, should we? I think there's a lot of truth to that. But as we mentioned before, we played a fairly clean game. So execution wise, there's not a great deal of improvement. We just physically we have to be better. Physically, we have to be more aggressive. We have to, figure out ways to run the ball better. We certainly have to figure out ways to defend better over top. But I can agree with that. I've heard that for years that your biggest jump is from game 1 to game 2. But of course, if you played Penn State again this week, we'd really know, right? So, but we would really know if we got better. But I think just the familiarity with the offense and things you're trying to do on defense, it should make it a little easier. And no doubt in my mind, I think we'll come out this week and take care of business. We should, but from a preparation standpoint, it's probably going to be a little bit better this week.
All right. Well, they are the Fighting Dukes now. Here we go. Number 2.
Fighting Dukes. Okay.
in those terms. So we're looking forward to getting back home. It's the first of 3. We've got to defend our home turf to have a successful season. We've got to win games right here at Mountaineer Field, and it starts on Saturday.
You did a
Wow. Home field, defending home field turf, 3-game streak. This is it, right? Is it not, to set up the rest of the season? This is you gotta play well against Pitt.
Oh shoot, this is a must win. And if we don't, the way I see it, if we don't come out this week and we don't play like our hair's on fire, and we don't make big plays, and we're just sluggish and lethargic and all that, then it's just going to make that Pitt game harder. There's no question. But on this, our players, our team, our fan base, we can't think about Pitt right now. We got to take care of Duquesne. We got to come out and play like we're capable of playing, and play like people expect us to, and finish them off early, and then next week we can worry about the team up the road.
That's for sure. But I will say this, is that I want to see each and every player take it upon themselves, and I can't certainly watch that from my viewpoint, but take it upon themselves to improve their game. And if you could do that with 11 on defense, 11 on special teams, and 11 on offense, then you really are cooking with some good grease, and you know that you have a team that cares. Am I correct?
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Well, you know what Coach Nealon always said, each and every day you get better or worse. You never stay the same.
Yep.
So, we got to go out every day and practice and get better. And if we're not getting better, then, we're cheating. We're cheating ourselves. We're cheating our teammates and everybody. So, I expect them to be better. I expect everybody to be a lot better this week.
a lot.
There you go. All right.
Emotionally getting ready, your team to play in that Penn State game, and you handled that environment well with the noise, with the crowd. Obviously, that flips over here. They got up for that game. How do you make sure they're ready to go again?
You only play 12, so you better. I find it ridiculous for football players not to be able to get up. I kind of understand it. Baseball, basketball, you play multiple games a week. You travel. Football, you play one a week. And you better be ready to go. And we've got enough competition on this football team. If a guy's not ready, we'll put the next guy. There's not a whole bunch of difference.
Oh, he's saying is this, man. Hey, we got competition now on the team, so if you're not ready to go, if you don't get up for the Duquesne Dukes, right? I mean, you got to go ahead and he's going to pull you right out. I mean, what do you say to that?
I agree. I mean, I used to hear people when especially in high school, I used to hear people say, you're coming out on the field or when I was coaching, they'd say, "Hey, coach, you got them up? Do you have them up?" Hey, if they can't get excited to play the game, there's not a great deal that we can do as coaches. My golly, I mean, they got a great opportunity to. God gave them a lot of talent to use physically and mentally, and if you can't get excited about playing a game of football, then Jiminy criminy, there's not a whole lot a coach can do. So yeah, they're going to be they need to be excited, but I think we'll see guys flying around. We'll see a lot of people making plays, and every year, when I was a freshman, I was fighting like crazy to play, to get on the field, and that feeling never left me until the day I walked out of that program to the last game I played. So you can't get complacent. If you're an upperclassman and you started for a year or two, there's always somebody there. You have to realize that, and you have to use that as motivation to get better and to prepare.
No doubt about it.
No.
Press conference on Monday. A couple of guys that you want to get more snaps. Who do you want to see on the field in this set?
Well, I think defensively, the guys that earn the opportunity for more playing time are Hammond Russell, Tomey on the defensive line. We need to get a couple more linebackers. Ben Cutter, especially in the game. We rotated in the secondary. Jacoby Spells will play more in this game. Offensively, Traylon Ray, Rodney Gallagher, Jaheim White will be healthy for this week, so we need to play those guys more.
Very good. Coach Wish.
Okay, so this is the week that you want to get those younger guys some playing time so that they can be ready down the road this season. Hopefully, you don't want to be exploited by playing all young guys, but you have to be prepared to make sure that they're at least ready.
Right. Yeah, with this schedule we play, you have to have depth. I mean, you got to have some players and be able to run somebody in there and give somebody a breather, for a couple of plays, or even if somebody gets dinged up or even injured, you gotta have players that's ready to step in. So you're right. This is a game where they're going to have to find some of those players.
Oh, that's for sure. And last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play this for you over here, and that's going to be I had that right there, and right there. Here we go. Okay. So first off, what do you think about this? This is the current situation. And this is what we see. You got Travis Hunter that went both ways for Colorado.
Yeah.
Deion says teams are offering $1.5 million in the transfer portal. I mean, are they not supposed to be talking to him until they hit the transfer portal? What is going on when people are saying, "Hey, listen, they're already offering, and we know about this," but nobody's stepping in. Nobody's saying, "Well, that's illegal." What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm worried about this NIL stuff and this transfer portal stuff. I don't like what it's doing to the game. I really don't. And maybe that's the old school stuff coming out of me or what. But it's free range. It seems like anybody and doing whatever they want to. And I just don't like it personally myself.
Well, I hate it, but I just think
crazy money.
That's crazy money. And why would you not? I mean, honestly, if you do get offered and take that, and not say illegally, but I mean, you can make more money than going in the NFL rookie salary cap. I mean, you can actually stay out for a year or two because why not?
Yeah, that's one thing I guess it is doing is keeping somebody around in school for a little bit longer. Maybe.
Yeah, there's no doubt. All right, last thing for you noobs, and we'll go ahead with this with Matt Rule talking about Deion Sanders, because so many have said that Deion, he's not a coach, he's not this, he's not that. Here's what he has to say.
He's won in everything he's done in football. He's won as a player, he's won as a coach. So I think everyone maybe thinks like outside, not me. Everyone else thinks like, well, this is all a show and that. he's the most serious person about football. Like, his poster was on people's walls for a reason as a player, because he's one of the hardest practicing, hardest playing people that's ever played the game, right? So why would we think that his team wouldn't be the same? You know, CJ White's on our staff was a strength coach for him. He told us, like, early on, like, let me tell you how they're going to practice. Let me tell you what they're going to do. So the utmost respect for Coach Sanders. Like, when he was the head coach of Trinity Christian, I recruited Quaylen Jones out of there. He's a football guy. Like, like all the other stuff, the commercials and all those things, those are extra things you get to do when you're elite at football. But yeah, I'm not surprised at all. You know, I mean, I think everything he's ever done in football, he's been successful at, and so he's being successful here already.
Oops, can you go ahead and can you bet against primetime?
I have to admit, Wolf, that matter of fact, Nick, my son, and I was having a conversation about this just 3 or 4 days ago, and I've got to admit that I was one of those guys. There's a lot of show. You know, I don't like that flamboyant stuff and all that stuff. And of course, my son Nick was he's you know, he'd done a good job and this and that, and he was kind of like Matt Rule. Hey, sitting and listening to that, you know, I might have to change my opinion a little bit too. So, you know, that's true. You know, he's been successful at whatever he's done. You know, even on the baseball field. You know, he was a pretty good baseball player too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I haven't really heard it put that way. But you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, he's got people excited in Boulder, that's for sure.
Oh, certainly. And I think there's two things. There's two great experiments in college football right now in my mind. One is, people have heard this on the show here all the time. It's Deion Sanders at Colorado. Well, I think he's already won because Colorado's now in the Big 12. I think that's already something for him. But it's Josh Eilert here at WVU basketball with not very much experience. So
right.
I think those are the two great experiments going on right now.
Yep.
Probably some more going on, but the ones that focus in my mind anyways. So we'll see how that goes. But hey, Steve Newberry, 1983, 84 Hall of Fame WVU guy. Thank you so much, man. Love you coming back on. We're going to bring you back on during the season because I need some voice of reason here. Obviously, you brought me. You made me feel better about the team and a voice of reason. So it's a good thing, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, Wolf, I really appreciate you asking me to come on. I didn't mention this. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but you know, I see some of the things that some of the people on here as text and somebody said hello and thanks for the memories and yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being Mountaineer fans and thank you guys for remembering when I played. You know, I like I said, I'm getting to be an old guy. You know, I've got people come up to me now, Wolf, and say, we introduce ourselves. They say, hey, did you know the guy who played at WVU? I said, yeah, I did. I said, man, he was a heck of a player, wasn't he? But anyway, you know, yeah, he said, you remember, they asked me if I remember that guy, if I knew him. And yeah, I do. But thanks to everybody on here that remembers those days. And I appreciate the comments. I really do. But thanks again. Thanks again for having me.
My pleasure. Steve Newberry, man, WVU Hall of Fame. Take care, noobs.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Wolf. You take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
All right. He's a fantastic dude. I'm telling you what a great ball player he was. He came out. He's from Southern West Virginia. He is all West Virginia, man. He's like I said, that's why I put that Deion thing on there. I knew. I didn't know, but I wonder what the things he was going to think about that. And I know he's not for the flash in the pan stuff, but I do think that Deion is also changing a few minds as well. And it's tough to go ahead and bet against him. Let's say, hey, Mike Rounds, you're saying that wasn't that a bootleg on he scored the touchdown run on? No, that was a read zone. That was the quarterback taking it, watching the defensive end crash down. Garrett Green came around, pretty much walked it. I mean, it was all there, but that's the quarterback read zone. That was not a bootleg. That's what you're talking about. Stephen Keel, I think he addressed this. He said, you say that Garrett Green, he's not that quarterback, and you run him a lot. Your second string quarterback, be ready because he'll be taking a lot of hits. Yeah, you could be right. I mean, you could be right, but I do think is that you have to use. That's why you have a dual threat quarterback. So again, if you're not going to use his legs or get him hit, what's he doing when he's got 7 draws that are going north and south up there? What are you doing when you sit there and he's running out of the pocket after 2 seconds in every time? Every time. I mean, we're going to show film right here, and I'm going to show you exactly. So I'm trying to save him. All right, not only am I trying to make him better and use what he's got, but I'm trying to save him from hits. Because if you just sit back there and a defense, like a Penn State defense, is going to tee up on you, man, that ain't cool either now. I mean, he was getting hit a lot. He was running a lot. So the WVU offensive line, they have to move their feet better. They have to stay in front of those guys better. I will say that there's some plays that were pretty outstanding, but come on, man. That's what football is. You say what he's going to be. I mean, again, it's a Tim Tebow, that's the thing, but he's not a sticker with that. I understand that. But you got a running quarterback. He's going to use his legs, so he's going to get hit. How many times did he get hit Saturday in the game without going ahead and putting him out the side of the pocket? How many times did he get whacked? I can tell you, I'll tell you, I think probably about, 15, 20. I mean, he got whacked anyway, so why not go ahead and try to pinpoint it where he could have a dual threat of either pass run or run the pass. Okay, that way you can stop from maybe not getting hit so much, and you can attack the perimeter. Use the entire field. Use the option, right? We know what a simple option play does. You don't have to take a hit as a quarterback. You pitch that ball, man, before you get hit. I mean, that's the whole idea. Or you take it up. But again, that's nothing new, and that's something that you can go either way on. Yeah, sure, you can get hurt. Anybody can get hurt. That's for sure. But that's my take on it. Let's see. What do we got here before we get in the film? Timothy Green. If they're not ready to run them until they puke and run, and then running some more, and the next time they'll be ready, I promise you. Okay. All right. Well, there's no doubt about it. They're going to be ready. How about this? How about Lockhart? I think I showed it yesterday, or am I going to show that today? I think I showed it yesterday, where he ran down that Penn State player, Lockhart, the big defensive lineman, who last year was not going to run anywhere. I mean, the only place he ran was to the dinner table like me. That's the only time I ever run, right? Now, for certainly. But again, big kudos to him for, looks like he getting himself in playing shape. And again, there's some guys like you have the transfer Tommy who got the sack for WVU. That was impressive. He's coming in from Kentucky. He's just a youngin, so that's all good. And there were some guys that stood out. But let's go to our QR codes. Let's get them out here. Let's get them done. Big Mike Dunlap. Again, hey, Mike had to go back to the hospital yesterday, so prayers to him. He's got a GoFundMe there. Had to go back to the hospital. It looks like he's okay right now. He had pneumonia. I'm not going to get into what he's got or all that stuff, but he did have to go back in. I think he's okay. But again, he's just piling up the expenses. Piling up. He's a brother, man. If you can help, please do so as well. We have the sports column. That is with Frank Fear. And you can just go ahead and Google the sports column and look it up. If you are an author, if you want to publish your articles, it is a perfect way. They will publish your article for you. Anything sports, they'll take care of it. It's a great cause right there. Then you have Paul Mini rechargers and batteries. And we show it. If you want to save dollars, go green. Never buy AA batteries again. They work amazing. The power went out in the studio here. The power went out twice. I ran it off of the Pallet deck, the Pallet Mini deck battery. I ran it right off the charge of the show. It was pretty cool. So impressive to say the least. Artisan Grange Company, switch to the hemp dip, man. Do it the AGC way. No nicotine, no tobacco. You can go to Parmar stores, or you can go to wolfmandip.com. Regardless, get rid of the nicotine, get rid of the tobacco. It's a lot better than all that crap. All that crap is not good for you. We all know that. So go ahead. AGC, Artisan Grange Company. And then Johnny Cantwell right there, right? West Virginia United. United Purpose, West Virginia we stand. I do have a cough drop in, so picked up some type of cold. So if you notice that, I apologize, but we're just gonna keep plowing through, baby, plowing through. All right, so West Virginia United. There you go, Johnny. And with that being said, let's go ahead and pull up this WVU Penn State film, and we'll just go ahead and we'll just talk about it. Now, I'm going to go and I'm going to try to be real positive today, but I got to point out the facts, man. I got to point out the facts, and I'm not going to not point out the facts. It will be the truth. And the truth is, there are things that they could have done better in the game. And let's see here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this up. There we go. Now, this is the 4th down and 5. All right, I'm going to show you the offense first and then the defense. And then we'll hopefully pack it up because we got to get ready for Duquesne tomorrow with Duquesne's color analyst there, Tad Murray. He's going to come in and he's going to give us a whole scouting report about Duquesne. And then don't forget on Friday, I'll have my game breakdown for you. There'll be some film. Not much I'm going to have to use some of the last year's Florida State to give it, but hopefully with Tad Murray and the film, we'll get a good idea of what they're all about. And they did a nice job. They had 5 turnovers against, or they got causing havoc. They got from Edinburgh. So defense, they were already, they want to take advantage of that turnover. So here we go. Now, you're looking at this here. I want you to look at this Penn State defense, all right? Take a look here at the defenders. They're a yard off the ball. You got to be able to challenge. This is 4th and 5. You got to be able to challenge those receivers. And you can see the one that Cole Taylor, tight end, he's 6'7", so the defender there's giving him about 4 yards. But everybody else is about a yard up and challenging it, so they're going to make it difficult on you if you're going to throw the ball. And you're going to see that he's going to throw the ball, and he's not going to throw it accurately. Okay, so again, there's no pressure coming on him, but you can see this is man coverage or challenging, but he's open. The receiver, all you got to do is be accurate. All right, so again, that's just one thing, but read it. All right, be accurate and get better. That's what you got to work on. Your accuracy, you're still below 60%. So we'll go ahead and we'll just finish this off here. But again, did you see that push by Cole Taylor? That was a nice block there to open up the hole for the throw. It's a little bit of a rub. That's all right. I just noticed that for the first time. Usually I catch all that. Well, that's not bad. Again, watch it right here. Do you see that? He's going, look at the rub by Cole Taylor, tight end. Boy, I know what Steve Newberry wouldn't like that if he was playing safety. I'll guarantee you that, man. But again, it was there. Just need to be more accurate. All right, got that down. And then you have here getting out. How about this right here, huh? He's getting out, and I want to see you hit the field, man. I want to see you hit it. Coming out, the pressure. It's 1-2. Step up in the pocket. See what you got there. Again, it's 3rd and 6, 4-14 from 3rd downs, and then 3 of 6, 50% from 4th down. So you can do better. Something to really focus on against Duquesne. Something that you can really go ahead and step up and be better. Offensive line, let's play better. But let's move that pocket around. Again, when I say move the pocket around, you don't have to do a bootleg every single time where you're hitting the full field. Right? You can move it, just move it around, move it outside, move it to behind the tackle. Okay, that would be moving the pocket, so it's not just a straight drop back pass. You have to understand, moving the pocket is not the whole field. It's tackle to tackle, moving in here, but not behind the center. Give it different angles. All right, go ahead, attack the perimeter, force it up, and then throw the ball. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have to sit there and take hits for that. That's not what it's about. Watching it again. Right? I see good. I'll tell you, C.J. Donaldson, he can really block in the pocket now. I'm really impressed by him, for sure. And then we go back here. Now it's 3rd and 12. It's 1-2, and he's out there. He's looking to run. Now, I'll show you. Go ahead. We'll just continue on here. Progression. It's 1-2, 1001, 1002. There's actually you could go ahead and find this guy downfield. If you look, I don't see him looking. I think it's 1001, 1002, and he's ready to run. I don't know if there's a pressure of the offensive line because they were putting pressure on him all night. But again, you can't read progression if they're ready to run at 1001, 1002. You can't do it. It's not physically possible. And your receivers can't get 12 yards downfield in 2 seconds. They can be close, 2.5, but it's almost impossible. So again, as you're taking this, take a look, and what do you see? All right. Again, pressure. I understand he made the throw, but again, look at that now. Right there, he got whacked. All right. What do they have? 17 pressures, 19 pressures on him. Do you think he would have not wanted to get hit? Maybe those 19 times in the pocket. You think getting him out there maybe would be more advantageous to let him run in the open field where he can avoid being hit? I think it might. So now we got a 3rd and 3. Let's take a look here. Look at this, 12 personnel. And you see the 2 tight ends. But I think this is right here. This is Big Nick Malone. Right here, you're going to see him up here. This is a good job. 3rd and 3. Now, that's taken to the defense. That right there, that's impressive. O-line. Nick Malone jumping in at tight end, and then you got Traylon Davis, the other tight end. That's a good job. All that was is a split zone, and we got 5 or 6 yards. Again, that is something you really want to build off of. Boy, I would love to see this offensive line really have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Just say, you know what? Let's run it down the opponent's throat this week. Really love to have that attitude and say, we're taking over this game. It doesn't matter what anybody else does because we're going to take over the game and we're going to secure this defense and make sure that my running backs, my quarterback, Garrett Green, can go ahead and be successful. That's what I want to see. Zach Frazier, best center in the country. That's what he can do. You got Wyatt Milam, who I know just came back from a sprained ankle after the first series. Impressive that he still played as well as he did against the defensive ends. And then you think about Thomas Remack, Brandon Yates. Brandon Yates, I haven't seen that much emotion. I keep saying it. Keep going, Brandon Yates. Keep going, because I've always thought you had opportunity in you if I saw some more emotion. So, again, totally digging it. And Doug Nestor, Big Doug, he's a steady rock right there at right tackle. Again, so once again, it's 3rd and 3. They know you got to run it, I think, here, and that's what they do. And even C.J. Dawson's like, hey, Traylon, get out of the way, man. Get out of the way there. Not bad. Okay, here's Nick Malone in the tight end spot. I spelled that wrong. Sorry, Nick. All right, but again, watch him come off. He was on that for that first touchdown. Yeah, there you go. All right, that clears the hole, man. That's a good Penn State defense, right? Now, what I'm talking about, man, this is what I'm talking about right here. All right, right there. Oh, look at that. He gets out. Now, that's the drop back, but when you see a 6'7" tight end crossing over and he gets out away from the pocket, he can see like that. He can see. And just like Noobs said, like, sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. So use that for your advantage, right? When he's out there and doing a handoff, doing some play action. If you're back, there's a safety. And if you can take advantage of those viewpoints, what you got to take advantage of every single time. I said it last week. Make those first down calls special. Keep them thinking. Don't let them always assume what you're going to do with the run or the pass. And I think if you can go ahead and do that, you'll stay out of those 3rd and longs, those 4th and longs, or the 4th and mediums, wherever it is, because you want to be 4th and 3rd and short. So first down is crucial, especially in these big games. And again, if you can go ahead and keep that defense guessing, then you're already halfway there, because they're not going to sit there and just know exactly what you're doing when you drop back 19 times and you had those pressures, okay? That they knew it was. Not once did I feel like we hit the perimeter. Not once. I saw Drew Allard, who's 6'5", 245. They ran him on the perimeter. All right? I did not see that from here. So I want to see that more, possibly. I think it would help Garrett Green tremendously. Again, I say, what am I talking about? He can see it. when he gets moving and he gets the throw there, he's accurate. I like it. I like this. This is something that they can be better at. 2nd and 3. Again, why is that? Keeping them on clue now. Because 2nd and 3. So that means a first down, they got 7 yards. First down. So that must have been really effective when they got 7 yards. And now the defense is like, whoa, 2nd and 3. What do we do? Not so sure. Not so sure. Not teeing off. Not teeing off on them, right? Not 3rd and obvious throwing down. So again, you have to think about that as you're breaking this down. Good job, Garrett Green. This is not what I'm talking about right here. This is 1001, 1002. There's no need for him to be out running outside the pocket. All right? Well, this is what I'm not talking about. All right? Now, you can say, hey, you know what? He made this or he didn't make it, whatever, but he was close to it. I know. But one-trick ponies are going to score you 7 points until 4 minutes left in the game. All right? Against good competition. You have to be able to throw the ball. You can't just always rely on your legs. You can't always do it. And you feel the pressure. There's nothing. Where are you running to? There's no need to. Look down. Go through your progression. And he's going to run it. All right. Again, I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. You got to be able to throw the ball to win. Okay? That's a simple fact. And running that is not going to get you every single time. 1,000, 2,000, run. Wait a minute. You're supposed to at least give me 3,000 so you can get a receiver that's going to be open on a 3rd down and long. I mean, it looks like about 7 or 8 yards there. So, again, that's what I'm looking for. You're going to run it. This time, he gets close, and they go for a 4th down, and they're successful. So, that did work. It's not going to work all the time, and it's not going to work until, like you saw it here. Now, boy, do I love this surge. I think that's Traylon Davis behind him right there. Excuse me. And I love Zach Frazier. Look at the power there. You see with the guards and the tackles. That's just a nice job. Look how low they are. You know, I haven't seen this offensive line that low in a long time. I mean, a long, long time. And that is good for WVU. Very good. All right. And look at this. That great Penn State defense. They're not pushed back. See what leverage does for you? See leverage get low guy wins. All those good things. That's what it's talking about. Low guy wins. It's the surge, man. Give me more surge. There you go, Mountaineers. Take that surge and shove it down their throats, which you just did right there. That's a great job. I love it. I can watch that all day long because I see nothing but white helmets going back. Nothing but white helmets going back. Very good. Okay. Now, looking here at the throw. Take a shot downfield. I like this. Taking a shot, not bad. You're, at 35-yard line? I think it's a good play call. It was single coverage. I know the safety's coming over for help, but single coverage, better throw and a better catch made would be good. But I like it. I like it. And take the shot. I like that. What is it, 30-yard line? Be aggressive. Be aggressive and take those shots down there. Very good. And I'll say it every single time. Now, again, I'm showing you this. This is I believe it's 4th and 7. Look at Penn State's defenders. They're just not backing up and saying, here's 7-8 yards of just between us. If you want to run a 5-yard hitch, I'm going to challenge you, even if I bail, meaning is that I'm running with you out of it, right? Think of it, instead of pressing and trying to keep them there or redirecting them, say, even if I bail, I'm going ahead and I'm doing this. You can see here the tight end, the other one they did not bail on, but watch this. It's 4th and 7, and he throws it and not accurate. But again, is I like a defense that's going to at least challenge you and not give you free yards. RPO run pass option, all that right there. I mean, I would like to see Cole Taylor getting a shot there at 6'7". All right, that's not bad. What about here? How many guys do they bring? They're bringing 1, 2, 3. They're bringing 5. They're rushing 5, and they're going man free is what they're doing. So you can see everybody else is tied up in man. You have the safety is free. Man free right here is 4th and 7. And need a better throw. Need a better throw. And better recognition. But again, let's see what he does this week. I think that if he sees this, he's going to learn. And this is a good decision, right? There's a good. Now, you can see him. It's 3rd and 5. He wants to throw the swing, but he also sees that defender. I think he sees that defender coming from Penn State. So what does he do? He pulls it down. This is good. Go ahead. 3rd and 5. That's manageable to run. 3rd and 15 is not so manageable, right? I mean, I hope I'm being clear here, like truthful, right? All right, so there you go. He's running. Good job. And what he's going to do here in a little bit, he's going to go ahead and he's going to do what I said I wanted him to do more of, and that's keep his eyes downfield while he's actually running. All right, so here we go. He drops back. Again, the same play. But again, that's just a good decision. And he's got legs. He's got legs, man, that can make it work. He is talented. And I think that's cool. I like how they're going pistol with the running back behind him. I like that formation. I think that's good with the coaches to do that. And again, he's getting good yardage there. Good play against Penn State. Good play. All right. Bad play against Penn State. 4th and 2, you bring in Nico. I'm not going to even go over. I thought it was bad call. All right, I'll chalk it up. I was probably a lot madder at the time that it actually happened. But 4th and 2, this is critical down. This is, this is 4th quarter, man. This is 10 minutes left in there, and you're actually inside, right? The 50-yard. I mean, you're inside the 50, and 4th and 2. You've been running the ball. You've been smashing it. 2 yards. Okay. There you go. Not a good call. I don't think you can sit there and argue that. It's not a good call. You've been going, you're talking about how good your offensive line's been doing all night, and then you don't trust them to do that. All right. Take that. Forget that. Even if you say he was open or whatever, could have, that kid didn't even play. All right. Again here, this is a nice play. I like this play right here. This is nice. Again, I'm showing you the good, man. Oh, look. See what he did? He left the pocket. He stepped up. He's running. That's what we're talking about now. You don't always have to run the ball. You can make and bait that defense to come up thinking you're going to run it. And then what? Keeping your eyes downfield. Yep, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like to see more of that. I think that's pretty cool. And I think you can 3rd and 3. You just extended the play, and now you got a 1st down, and you get it inside Penn State's 50. That's valuable. That's very valuable. And again, that's very effective. You hold it. Oh, look at 2. He's coming right up, and that's why he's open. Carter. That's good. All right, we'll keep moving on here. We have it's 1st and 10. Time's winding down. It's 31-7. I like this now. This is first read, but I still like this because I see he's seeing it. He's seeing it develop right here. He's seeing the hole where it's coming, and this is a nice shot. Nice throw. We talk about intermediate throws, right? We want more of this. Yes. And when he fires it, watch him fire it, and he steps up, and he delivers. And he's got good technique. There we go. 1001, 1002, 1003. Look at that. 1003, right? And the pocket's not so close to him, so yeah, that helps too, right? But again, he's there 3. 1001, 1002. And right now, you got to go 1003. Minimal right there. And he gets downfield. It's excellent. Love that play. Want more of it. Want more. There you go. 3rd and 5 now. 3rd and 5. What do we got? 5 minutes left. 31-7 in the 4th quarter, right? He comes out. He's trying to get around. All right. Now he's starting to hook up. What does he do? He steps out. Nice job. He gets outside the pocket, but he didn't rush it. He waited, and then he went outside the pocket, and he made the play and extended it. All right, so again, I'm going to give it credit. Watch this Penn State defense. They're not just going ahead and giving it all these freebies, but a good move, good. That's a nice job. I really like it. So that's strong. That's strong. You need more of that in the game. More of that in the game. And again, are we still there? Might have hit this one too many times. I get fired up when I see good stuff. I get fired up. There we go. Keep moving. Not sure that's been a long. All right. But again, look at see that how he avoids it. It comes out. Nice job. That's what I like. I like being able to see, being able to throw. Okay, let's go ahead and let's move into the defense. Okay. Defense time, right? Now, talking about against the pass, they were hurting against the run, that they played well. I want to say this. I'm watching this defensive line, and I'm seeing them. They got a flatter backs. Okay, that means more leverage, means more power. And when he can do that, it makes it tougher. And the offensive line, this vaunted offensive line that said they like it so much, I think Penn State's going to – I think they need some more work too, just so you know. I think that they're not quite what they sold themselves to be. But listen, here you are on the pressure. This is what I'm talking about, perimeter. Dual threat. Do you get hit here? You're not going to get hit. Right there. Got a 6'5", 245-pound offense of a big guy running out there. If he can do that, then you can get Garrett Green. Move that pocket. You don't do it every down. You do still drop backs, but you move that pocket because you can't keep them always teeing off and putting their ears back and just going on every gosh dang third and passing or fourth and passing. You got to move the pocket. You got to play smart. You got to attack different areas of the field so they're not always guessing. So you're guessing here. Again, going underneath the center now, not even the gun out there. It's just a simple rollout. And that's not dual threat crap right there. That is not. This is just getting him out, being able to free, attack, and outnumber. That's what I said. Attack and outnumber right here. You can see this. Look at this. Again, look at how they do the receivers to the field. They have, 4 defenders to the field. They go ahead. They motion the tight end, Warren back into the hip pocket of the left tackle, and they pull their guard. So now they're outnumbering here. Look at this. This is simple. This is 2nd and 2, and they outnumber West Virginia's defense. I said in the pregame, I showed it to you all week long. RPOs, all that. This is what they do, and that's a nice run there. You got to be careful. Watch getting outnumbered here. You have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the box, and they have right here, 7 right there in the box. So you're outnumbered once again. And now they're going to bring that left guard and that backside tight end, H-back, whatever you want to call it, and they do a really nice job of blocking. If you watch this, you see they're picking up. That's nice. That's real nice. All right. Now, Lee Koba coming here, the 4-man rush. Now, watch this. Now, when I say Lee Koba's a dude, he's a dude. I don't like a 3-man rush unless you're beating, I guess, Oklahoma State last year. West Virginia's defensive line with Dante in there, they were beating the 5-man line with the 3-man rush, all right? Some of it. So I have to admit that. I tell the truth. Always tell the truth. Watch Lee Koba. Oh, my gosh. All right, that's an incomplete pass right here. Watch him come in, right guard. I don't know if he gets his foot caught. I don't think so. I think that's just I'm going to throw you down. Excuse me. And I think this is something really good. Lee Koba, really impressive. I like this dude, man. Look at that, just coming in, just giving the forearm to him. Get out of my way, Jack. I don't care who you're with, Penn State. Get out of the way. Good job, Lee Koba. Missed the field goal because of that. That was 3rd and long, red zone. They missed the field goal. That's a huge play. Right here, you see Singleton here getting to the outside. Now, I don't know about this tackle. Apparently, it was, you can't get your finger in the ear hole. I had Hawkeye with me who was watching the game. He's an official. He said he called it. He saw it, so I guess that's a good call. But watching this here, I don't like the different levels that WVU looked like they were on right there. I like playing with a defense that's kind of on the same level. But look at the different levels right here. You can see this here, and it is a bit of a delay, but I think you're giving up. When you penetrate like that on the outside and your defensive interior is not pushing, that's your two different levels, and you're not covering your gaps, and it makes it difficult. I think they can do better at that area. And then, the game's at 14-7, but I think that's just a little bit of bad timing, a little bit of bad press, but he does get his finger in the hole. And, well, nothing else I can really say about that. Okay, 1st and 10, you're seeing trips here to the field. You're seeing a receiver there to the boundary. Oh, it's a screen. Yep, it's a screen, and you can see it's pretty good. I like the screen. I like the center screen. And, you saw Noobs, you said, talk about the screens, that they can work. And not that he's a huge fan of it, but he said that they can work. So, again, that's not bad right there. But if you watch it, nice. Look at the offensive lineman downfield, making holes, blocking receivers, blocking. That's not a bad job there by them. I like that play. That's why I want to show that. All it is just their whole. Now, take a look at this right here. All right. This is what I want to say is I think is not bad. Malachi Ruffin right here. Okay, he's only 4 yards off now. All right, it's not bad. He doesn't react back. He doesn't break well on the receiver's break. But I will say is that I like the fact that he was not given 8 yards defensively. He was not, but I think he needs to do a better job of breaking when the receiver breaks. But I wanted to point out that was look at it. It's only 4 yards right there, and that's not bad coverage in my opinion. The rushing 4 coming out there, the circle pops up, something wacky there happened. All right, now look at this. So look at you're inside the red zone. You're inside the red zone. And you're giving, I'd say 10 yards. Do you see that up here? 10 yards, right? Right up there, 10 yards. And you're giving 10 yards down here, to be quite honest with you, right? But this is to field. This is a quick throw here into the boundary. This is a quick throw. This is a 5-yard hitch. It's first, or third down here. Okay, I'm sorry, third, and it's 10. But again, why are you giving right here to the first down? Watch this. Right there. I don't like it. I don't like what that is. And I think that you're giving too much yardage. I think he could stop right here, RPO, 5-yard hitch, and he would never get it. You can at least get the field goal here, right? Well, look what this pressure does. You see this here? Okay, this right here, this is what makes this defense good. Okay, the secondary good. It's when you put pressure on the quarterback. That's what I was trying to show right here, is that you go ahead and you put this pressure on the quarterback, and the secondary is going to look a lot better. So, again, that's what I was, excuse me, I had the wrong play in mind. But, again, field goal, it's missed. Oh, look at that. It's still 14-7 going into the half, right? Yeah, not bad. Now, look here. So, you got 3rd and 3. And remember I showed you yesterday, right here, this trio, this bunch here into the boundary? Okay, but now look how they defended. Remember how they defended yesterday? They were 10 and 12 yards deep. But here on this, I mean, this is all one night, obviously. But what I showed you yesterday, you can see that they're playing up tight. Why not playing that? Because, again, he doesn't go there. Why? Because they're playing it tight before they went there and got a first down. So, again, you can see the defense here making an adjustment, getting in there tight. You had 2 tight ends over there. But now he's going to go and throw to Keandre Lambert right there, right? And he drops it. But good play. It's 3rd and 3. Now it's going to be 4th and 3. But again, they defended it the right way. And that's what made it harder. So when you defend something the right way, obviously it makes it better. It makes it better. Voila, right? I mean, That's good stuff right there, right? You have it. And again, they were setting up for the screen, but they defended it the right way, and they didn't go for it. They went for the man on, which was tight. You saw Aubrey Burks. He was tight. He was making it difficult. He had to reroute. DeAndre Lambert Smith, the receiver, he had to reroute, and it made for a tough throw. That's what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, look at this distance right here. All right? It's right now, it's 2nd and 7. And by golly, if you're not past, you're giving them 8 yards right here. 2 on 1. And this is simple. One takes deep, the other just does an out. I mean, that's just like taking, a sucker from a kid. Sucker from a kid. All right? Well, circles got away from me today, that's for sure, by editing. Must be this cold I'm having here. Again, that's just too easy. Challenge more. Get one guy up. Try to reroute a little bit. You can't have 2 receivers on one and getting a free release. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, here, let's get the tackle. You missed the tackle. These are good backs. I understand the good backs. Lee Cope 13 tackles. I just want to say is I respect him, man. I think he plays hard. I think he's a really good leader for this defense. I really do. I think he's what you're looking for in a defender, middle linebacker. Now, I don't like this hole here. You see outside contain, and if Hershey McLaurin's coming down here he's the force. All right, well, you got to do better, and you got to do better angling there. But that was really one of the poorest tackles I've seen. Whereas, they talked Dante Wright, Jordan Leslie, they talked about being better tacklers. I think they were better. I think they changed and they improved. I don't know if they've arrived yet. I'm not going to say that. But I do think that they improved from last year, that they are better tacklers. And you can see here, again, look at the soft coverage. Why give them this? It's 2nd and 8. It's right here. Look at this. You have one defender out there with 2 receivers. All right. And you're going to push. And it's just a simple, it's easy pickings, man. You can do a hitch on that anytime. Again, it's just to me, that's what I would do. I would go ahead and I would push the one defender down the field with longer and then do the short. That's exactly what they did 3 plays ago. It's easy pickings, easy pickings. All right. You know what? I think I've given enough. I think I've shown enough about what they got to improve upon. Let's go ahead and take a look here, see what everybody's got to say. All right. Let's go here. BY Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, all the new guys, 1-0. No. WVU is 2-1 dimensional. Garrett Green and CJ Donaldson running. That's it. Teams are going to stack the box if they don't show a passing game. Well, you're right. Picking stuff. You're right, man. I'll put that up there. I think I said that, and I think everybody is kind of understanding that now, seeing that what you have there. You have to be successful in throws. And there's more than one way to do that. You don't have to drop back in the pocket and go air raid drop back all the time. You can go ahead and you can do different things, and you can be really smart in this. Be really, really smart and keep the defense guessing. And anybody else? Anything else we got here? All right. Let me see. Anything else? What else here? I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and get to our network ready. And pop it open. There we go. That's right. And let's start it off here. Calacino's Pizzeria. This is the WolfMan's Call Network. Calacino's Pizzeria and Sports Bar down in Beckley, West Virginia. Cantrell's River City Grille and Pub down in Hinton, West Virginia. Then you have Jimbo's there. One in Elkins, one in Buckhannon. So nice as twice, correct? And then you have Legend Sports Bar in Cheat Lake, or Gizzy, man, out there. Hit the links here in Lakeview. Danny's down there in Princeton, West Virginia. Shout out to Paige. And then you got Jim Manning there, Archies, right there in Pittsburgh, right on East Carson Street. Love the wings. How about Route 22 Sports Bar there in Weirton, West Virginia? Man, I tell you what, 12 50-inch screen TVs, bottoms-up draft. There you go. The Mason Jar Saloon and Hotspot in Morgantown, West Virginia. They were transferring their ownership. Looking forward to having you guys join the team. You have the Mason Jar Barbecue and more, Steve Reese. Gonna be talking to him soon, I think. And then, of course, you got the Pallet down there. Had a great pre-game down there in Scott Depot, West Virginia. Haley, thank you so much. Mel, what's going on? The tap house there, the Mountaineer Tap House. Appreciate you right there by all the dorms, Towers, Oakland Street, the Oakland dorms. And then you got the Pitch Sports Bar and Grill down in Dunbar, West Virginia. And you have Brickside Bar and Grill, Rob Davis. Oh, my buddy. All righty. Well, that's it. The network. We thank you very much. Shout out to all you guys. Anyone who wants to go, it's a big day tomorrow. Okay, big day tomorrow. We got the Duquesne guy coming. He's going to break it down. On Friday, I have my breakdown that I'm going to do. Tad Morey's the guy's name, color analyst for the radio for the Duquesne Dukes. So we're looking forward to that. You heard from Neil Brown today and Tony Caridi talking about this first week. It's a big week. The old cliche is you make your biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2. I want to see the offensive line come on down and bust somebody's hump. That's what I want to see. I want to see. I saw him at Penn State in the offense and the running ball. C.J. Donaldson. I want to see them bust hump and take over that game offensively. How about this defensive line? Since everybody was saying, they think that you've improved so much, how about you go ahead and take over that Duquesne offensive line and shut them down? That'll be cool. I'd like to see you do that. Take that attitude, man. Go ahead. Feel free to do so. Help your secondary out. Right now, they're figuring things out. There's one way they can get a lot better, and that's if you put a whole bunch of chaos on that backfield, whether it be running backs or the quarterback. If you can put a whole bunch of chaos on them, you can really help out that secondary. Defensive line, linebackers, Lee Koba, keep going, keep leading your team. And all in all, man, I'll tell you what, let's go Mountaineers. Let's have a big week this week. Let's get better. I want to see you get better, man. Want to see you all get better in all areas and keep playing and fighting hard, because I thought you fought hard. Didn't think you got worn out, but I thought you played hard. I want to see you play a little bit smarter on your end, and also and some of the calls as well. I think you can do that. I think you can play your strengths better, and we'll see how that goes. So, with all that being said, that's all I have to say. The WolfMan's call. Anyone have anything they wanted to say? Anything right now? This is your chance. You can jump on. I'll drop the link if you want to jump on, but it's up to you if you want to do it. If not, I'm going to go ahead and shut this bear down because I got this cold, man. It's kicking my can, but I'm here for you, and I'll stay here for you. I mean, I'll go ahead. I'll drop the link. Anybody want to say anything about what Steve Newberry had to say? Well, how awesome was that having him on the show? And anyone want to say anything about what I just broke down? If you want to challenge it, go ahead. If just be respectful. That's all I ask. And as long as you do that, I got no problem if anyone wants to disagree with me. I just dropped the link. Go ahead, jump on if you want. Other than that, let's go. Give me something. Give me something. What do you got? Let's see the stories here. Talk is Pitt is on. All right, Talk is Pitt. I said, I hope you're feeling better, my friend. Thanks. I tell you what, man. There's no doubt. There's some kick going on right now. I got some medicine on. There's no doubt about it. It says that you got a new nickname for CJ. What's that? What's the nickname? I can't read it. The nickname for CJ Dawson. Do you remember the Jeep CJ series? How about CJ8? It's hard to stop a CJ series. All right. I understand where you're coming from that. And that's all good. We got Timothy Green. Love the show. Wolfman boy, you are loyal, man. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Very good. Again, it's Tad Morey coming tomorrow. And we're also going to have Tony Altimore. He's going to be talking about some really cool things and some educational things, WVU and the news, and all about the cuts and all that. So I think Tony's going to have a different view on it, different pick. But if not, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go get some shut-eye, man, because this cold is kicking my can. But I'm a warrior, baby. About hearing from another Warrior, and that is, of course, All-American center, All-American, the best center in the country, and he's right here at WVU. How about a little bit of Zach Frazier?
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
All right. Talker's pit just jumped on. Dude, I was just about to get off, man. What are you doing? What's going on? What are you doing?
Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I was just about ready to call it a day. What you got going on?
Oh, I'm just I'm at work right now, getting ready for because I work at Mario's over here in the Oakland section of the city of Pittsburgh, a Pit Panther themed bar. Thank you, Jesus. And you know, just enjoying my slow day. Tried to get on earlier, but my internet was acting funny.
All right. Well, you do want to get on because you want to hear about how the Mountaineers are going to take down the Fighting Dukes and then continue on to defeat the Pit Panthers.
I do agree that you will beat the crap out of the Duquesne Dukes, and if you don't, I will laugh. However, Duke ain't Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh ain't Duke either. And you know, the one thing that I watched you say is, you know, you would like to see West Virginia improve in a lot of areas, but can you fairly judge improvement going from playing a Power 5 team to an FCS team?
Can you judge it? Yeah, you can. There are certain things that you can do because you're supposed to take care of the ball. You're supposed to do with being on defense, you know, not giving up these yards, going mental mistake free, penalty free, continue. Yeah, you can actually improve, but you better than not give them any life, and you better make sure that you put your foot on the gas pedal, put your foot on their throat, however you want to call it, and make sure by halftime they're not thinking about any type of comeback, they just want to get their payday and get out of there and head back to the Berg, right? I mean, that's what you want to do. Can you improve? Yeah, you can improve. Yeah. You can improve individually. Okay, you can improve your technique. You can improve what you do together as a unit. And you can, you know, go ahead, and so you can start being more cohesive together, offensively, defensively, special teams. So absolutely, you can. Doesn't show up maybe as much against the Penn State or Power 5. That's going to be tougher to tell for sure. But I will say this: I think Duquesne's got a tougher bite in them than they put down in Florida State last year. Not afraid to go in there. I know they didn't. They played against a good Florida State team, but not afraid to go play places. So you know what? You can improve, and I think this week the Mountaineers could use this, especially as a tune-up for the Pitt game, and maybe a little bit of recovery too. A little recovery because that was a hard-fought game. So
you guys are a little dinged up from that game. Not even just I don't think you guys have any starters that are injured, or I would say at least seriously injured to the point where it may affect. I mean, your backups, though, from what I've saw Neil Brown say, is your guys' backups are a little dinged up as well, and that kind of hurts the depth for West Virginia because, in my opinion, that receiver you guys got from Marshall, his name's not registering to me right now. I honestly, I thought he was going to be your number one receiver because you guys lost a lot of your receivers and some of your running backs from last year. And I don't necessarily agree that West Virginia is one-dimensional. The issue is they just can't score.
Well, you can't score if you can't throw.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. I mean, I think Green, I'm trying to give West Virginia more credit than even with the West Virginia fan base is going, because I saw a lot positives in that game. To be honest, I thought that game could have and probably should have turned out worse.
Well, it could have turned out worse for sure. But, when has West Virginia ever been the fact of saying we're so bad that we don't suck as bad as we think we do, so that's good? It's not the way we think.
I don't think you guys suck as badly. It's the first game of the season, and I don't necessarily think you can base that off of how your whole entire season's going to go. I mean, because you guys could turn around against Duquesne, shut them out, come to Pittsburgh, beat Pittsburgh, or not come to Pittsburgh, beat Pitt down in Morgantown, which is a very big possibility. That game does worry me more than a Cincinnati game. But, I think West Virginia fans just need to relax a little bit. And this is coming from a Pitt fan who's trying to give you guys credit.
Well, all right, Talking Spit. That's good, man. Listen, I appreciate your words. You have a good day there, because I got to go, man, because I feel like
all right.
Dog.
All right, I got to go too. I'll see you later, Wolfman.
You got it, brother. Thanks for joining in and jumping on, man. Take care, brother.
No problem.
All right, well, there you go. Talking Spit trying to give WVU some props, and not so bad. And I'll tell you what, I keep him on longer, man, but I'm out of here. We're see you up again. We'll start that one over. Alrighty.
Hi, I'm Zach Frazier from Fairmont, and when I'm back home, you'll find me at my local Parmar store.
We have that gold and blue pride at your local Parmar store. We are coming to your neighborhood soon. West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, we have you covered. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Food, gas, groceries, and more, we are gold and blue proud, and we are Parmar stores.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Buzzballs, ready-to-drink cocktails. #1 single-serve premix brand in the U.S. Buzzballs, have a ball. Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock. All Mini, the anywhere, anytime chargers, powering a connected world. Never buy AA batteries again. Rechargeable 500 times plus. Paul Mini AA USB lithium battery, as easy to charge as your cell phone. Sustainable energy, stay charged. Go green, save green. Feel the power of Paul. Order now at paulmini.com.
West Virginia United.